What's going on, guys? Gomes here, back again on another MLB The Show 20 Diamond Dynasty video. It's finally time. We're about to have our second inning program that is going to be going live on the 10th on Friday, and today we're going to make my predictions. As always, let me know in the comment section who you want to see in the second inning program. It can be as realistic or as wild as you would want, but of course there are going to be three bosses, and I'm going to give you reasons why I'm predicting what positions and what players I am. But before we get into this one, make sure to leave a like down below. Helps out the videos a ton. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Just surpassed 28,000. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been killing it so far. So excited to keep on moving with MLB The Show 20. But that being said, let's get into this. Now, the first thing that I want to cover is the positions that I think we're going to see. Now, the first one I think is going to be second base. I think second base is notoriously a pretty thin position within MLB The Show. We get a Sandberg, a Joe Morgan, a Jackie, and usually that's kind of it. You know, we see like a Pedroia, sometimes we see a good version of him. This might be his last year that he is in MLB The Show, but I think second base is going to be a strong suit. There's not a whole lot of good second basemen besides the Ryne Sandberg, which is an XP exclusive card, which is hard to get. The second base position is just pretty thin so far, so I think that's a good position that we're going to see. The next one is going to be an outfielder. Note, last year, 9 out of the 10 programs, not counting the 11th inning program because there weren't players in it, 9 out of 10 there were outfielders, so that's a pretty fat chance we're going to see outfielders in this year's second inning program as well. And then pitcher is another one. There was at least one pitcher in 7 out of the 10 programs last year. One time it was just a reliever. That was in the 4th inning program with Billy Wagner. But for this point, we are going to put a starting pitcher within there for the reason that we've been getting a lot of free relievers. We got the Kerry Wood program. We got the Amir Garrett one within the moments. So I think it's probably going to be a starting pitcher that we're going to see for free. With that said, let's get into the first guy that I'm going to predict. Just like I did last year, I'm going to give you my favorite, then my backup or my runner-up. So this is going to be Joe Morgan as my second baseman. He, of course, had a 99 overall card within the program's last, or rather within the XP reward path last year. I don't think he has a good card. This is his best one, a 78 overall. Joe Morgan has a really good swing. He has the elbow action that I really like to imitate, but he does have a good stance. He has a good swing, and for a second baseman, he is a lefty, which another thing I want to say, I think there's a strong need for lefty bats right now. I talked about this yesterday in my video going over my level 40 pack. Most lineups are either balanced or they are heavy righty oriented. There's not a whole lot of great lefty hitters right now, so I think they really are going to touch on this for the second inning program. What could this Joe Morgan card look like? We're going to take a look at this one, for example. I don't think he'd be a 97 overall. This was from MLB The Show 18. And as you can see, the parameters around Joe Morgan cards are always pretty much the same. He never has a good amount, he never has a ton of power against left-handers. He'll probably be a bit more balanced contact-wise, but even if we saw something like this where he is more of a righty killer opposed to lefties, he's still going to be really good because he's great defensively, always has high 80s to 90s defensively, and then really good speed along with a good swing. I think this would be a perfect second baseman that we could see. Once again, keep in mind last year for the programs we saw position wise, the highest overall was Vladimir Guerrero at 94, Miggy was a 92, and then we saw signature Mad Bum at 98. So I don't think we'll see we're gonna see a 97 Joe Morgan. I think like a 94 or a 95, maybe a new flashback is a little bit more realistic, but Joe Morgan I think definitely has a great shot. My backup pick is going to be another second baseman. I don't believe he's in the game right now in any capacity, and that is going to be Jackie Robinson. Now, Jackie, I thought had a great card last year, great swing, of course. He did have this card right here. It was an 88 overall. I think it's obviously going to be better than an 88. So we're going to take a look at this one, which was in MLB The Show 18, and this card would be really, really good. This, I think, is not the meta, but it is the meta. It is not the best version that you can have. I think power is king right now, but speed and contact are very close behind. Great contact on this card, 50s power, pretty much maxed out vision, which on the higher difficulties is lethal this year. You really need that with the increased pitch speeds. 91 speed, good defense. I think this card would be a monster, and I think either Joe Morgan or Jackie Robinson are very, very likely to come because I said second base is a position that we do need, and I think these cards are going to be great to start off. Of course, I think these aren't going to be the best variations of them all year round, but I think these would be really fun to have in the second inning program. The next position we're going to talk about is the outfielders. Now, once again, I kept in mind the lefty bats, and that is who my favorite is going to be. I don't really know what position we could be looking for, but I think it's fair to say some of the corners maybe, because we did see Curtis Granderson come out for free, and the guy I'm talking about this time is going to be Bryce Harper. I think this is very likely. Of course, I don't think we're going to see a 99 overall Harper. I don't hate Harper. Some people hate Harper. Some people think he's very overrated, the most overrated player in the league. I don't think that at all. I think Harper isn't 99 worthy, but a 95 is very fitting for him from his MVP year. And if they took this card from last year and just moved it, pushed it over on to MLB 20, this would be so good. This would be one of the best cards in the game. Like I said, we're really missing that killer lefty power bat. We don't have a whole bunch. If you think about like a Cody Bellinger, and yes, I know Mickey Mantle's a switch hitter, but Biggio, Sheffield, the two collection rewards, they're both right-handers. Bryce Harper would instantaneously be right up there with Reggie Jackson as the best lefty hitters in the game. 70 fielding silver is not bad, alongside 75 reaction, really high arm strength, which if you hit your perfect throw indicator to home plate is going to be lethal. 70 speed, 112 power against righties. Really think this would be a great card to have. And then my other backup pick for an outfielder is not going to be a lefty. He's not going to be a right fielder. This time we're looking in left field. I'm talking about Ryan Braun. I think this is another strong candidate. Of course, keep in mind, it is always pretty hard to predict the first couple programs because they really have the size of an ocean of how many cards that they could put. It really could be any outfielder like Billy Williams possibly, but I think Ryan Braun would be pretty fitting. This is a card from MLB 18, and this would be pretty solid. Once again, not great defense, pretty much mid 60s across the board, 80 stealing, 70 speed. 81 vision, pretty good. 80 and 85 power, really good contact, and he does have a good swing. I always like even getting his silver card last year in Battle Royale. Really mashes for me, and I think this would be another great outfielder to have. I think both current guys, usually they like to have a bit of a mix. If you think about in the second inning program last time, it was Mad Bum and Miggy, both current players, and then they had a Vladimir Guerrero, and usually they like to mix, you know, like I said, from the past and the present. They had Pujols, Trout, and Schmidt in the 10th inning program. That's the way it kind of works most often for the programs. It's not by any means like a basis that they have to follow. Personally, I would rather have Harper than Ryan Braun because he's better defensively and he's a lefty bat, but I think either of these guys would be superb. And finally, let's talk about the last position that I think is going to happen. I'm a lot more comfortable with the positions that I'm guessing instead of the players. Like I said, it could be really anybody, but the positions I think I have a very strong hint on. And for my favorite, I really want to see an Oral Hershiser. We didn't get to see a really good one last year. We got his collection reward, which is cool, but it isn't as good as it could have been. This card right here is pretty solid. It's one of the best budget pitchers that you're going to have in the game. He has a good amount of control for the time being. For a gold card at least, he has 71 walks per 9. He doesn't throw hard, but he has great pitches. A sinker is so helpful. A sinker is nearly the make or break pitch for a lot of pitchers in my opinion, and then he also has a nice slow curveball comparatively to his four-seamer. Never going to throw hard, but has good per 9s. Taking a look at what his collection reward card looked like last year, 92 overall. If you put this card in MLB 20, this would be a very good pitcher, and I think you'd make it better as well. Like I said, they had a 98 Mad Bum, Typically what they do is they increase the pitcher overall to make it more enticing because they think a lot of people want to take hitters. Even this year, if you think about it, Roy Oswalt is a couple overalls higher than Duke Schneider and Todd Helton. So if they went by the same basis, if they had like a 94, 95 Harper and maybe had like a 97 Hershiser, have his best card that he's going to get, maybe a signature card. I think he won a Cy Young Award. I'm not completely confident on that fact. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. But this card would be awesome. Like I said, the sinker's deadly. Gonna throw 94, probably 95 if they increase his overall a little bit. The pitch clutch, I don't know exactly how much that really affects gameplay, but that's maxed out. If you made a prime Oral Hershiser, the best card we're gonna get of them, which I really want to see because I feel like we never get that card. I was hoping for it last year, we never got it. So Oral Hershiser is gonna be my favorite. Then my backup is gonna be Cliff Lee. This is another guy who I think would have such a good place this year in MLB 20 for the reason that control is very important. And if there's one thing Cliff Lee can do is control his pitches and dot up the strike zone, which a lot of people are missing right now. That is very important. If you're having trouble pitching, try finding guys with better walk per nine and better control. I would appreciate if he had a sinker compared to a two-seamer, but you know, nothing you can do about that. That's the pitch he threw. But I love the circle changeup this year, and I think the knuckle curveball is going to really counteract those as well. And obviously, this would be a much better Cliff Lee. This is the best Cliff Lee we got last year. This was in the Shelfie Sony partner moments. I was not a fan of this card, but if they had a better one with better per nine, specifically the hit per nine, I think that's about the most important stat you could really get. And I remember I was researching because I did a signature series cards we could still be looking for last year, and Cliff Lee was on that list because this is not the best season he ever had. So I think he definitely could get a better card. Like I said, I would prefer Oral opposed to Cliff Lee, primarily for the reason that Oral has a sinker and that he's a righty. Once again, I said most lineups are more righty based opposed to lefty based. So if you're pitching lefty on righty, it's going to be a lot tougher with a guy like Cliff Lee comparatively to Oral Hershiser. But any of these guys that I listed, I think would be really fun, would be really good. Like I said, we're not going to get 99 overalls. Maybe we get like a 97, 98, kind of like how they did with the Mad Bum last year. But if they put out a Harper like that, I think the community would love it because that would be a great card. Last year when he came out, there was already so many cards that some people would nitpick and say, oh, he only has 70 fielding, or he only has 83 power against lefties. If he came out right now, which would be the best time to put out a Bryce Harper card because, like I said, I don't think he'd get a better card, he would be a monster and tons of people would pick him. And if you put him with like Jackie and Oral, I think that would make a monster second inning program that I think a lot of people would love, and hopefully you guys would as well. Like I said, let me know if you guys have your own predictions or guesses for bosses in the second inning program. Who would you guys like to see? As I mentioned, it is going to be on Friday. I don't know if they're going to reveal them on Thursday. If they do, I'll have a video showing them on Thursday. If they don't, I'll have a video showing them on Friday, and then we'll go over the cards. If you guys did enjoy this one, make sure to leave a like down below. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. There goes some Saudi Yates.